Hey y'all, and welcome back to my channel. And if you're new here, welcome. I'm Nicole with the Bushel and Designs. Today we are starting off with a 32-ounce slightly tapered tumbler from the tumbler supply store. I split it in half with my painter's tape, and then the half that I'm working on, I took it outside and gave it a little bit of a terrible spray paint ombre, but it's okay because we're covering up with glitter. So after that was dry, I covered this half in some Crystalac glitter glue, and I went a little bit on the heavier side since I am going to be doing a glitter ombre. I wanted to give a little bit extra foundation for all of these glitters to stick. And we're going to start building this glitter ombre foundation with our chunkier glitters. You want to lay down the chunkier glitters first because they don't, and if you give a lighter coverage, then it doesn't cover as much surface and it gives room for that ombre blend to blend, I guess you could say. But if you lay down the finer, smaller cut glitters first, it will give a better coverage. So then you're not as able to build up that dimension with some of the chunkier glitters. So I am starting with all of my glitters are Diamonds and Dust, and I'm just following the path of that yellow curve and the orange for when I'm building up that foundation. So I laid down the yellow as much as I could in that curved area, and then the orange around the yellow. We're trying to make it look like a ombre sun looks, not sunset is what I was going to say, but like a sun. So I am going in with Tropical, then Sun-Kissed, and then Gnarly, Fast Pitch, and Pineapple. I have a few extra yellows because I'm really trying to make it that sunny yellow look. And I thought all of these colors together gave it a really good look. And then I am just kind of going back and forth once I build up that foundation. I'm just going back and forth, blending the best that I can. I don't want to see a straight transition line. I really want the colors to blend really well into each other. One thing that I always tell people when they ask how I got a good ombre is start light and build on it, because you can always add more, but you cannot take away. And then once I was happy with that, I am going to roll it on a little bit of notebook paper just to help lay down all of that glitter flat. And then I am going to take off the painter's tape and set it aside to let it dry completely. I really wanted this side to be bright and cheery, and I absolutely think bright and cheery when I look at this glitter ombre. After it's dry, I'm going to give it 2 coats of Rust-Oleum's Clear Glossy Spray Paint because I don't want this glitter to go anywhere. Then after that, before we move on to epoxy, we are going to work on the other half. So I did not tape anything off because that is still raw glitter. I am just going in with some chalk paint. I love the coverage that chalk paint gives. If I have the color or a close color, I try to use chalk paint over regular craft paint because it usually gives a much better coverage. So I'm going to cover that side in white chalk paint, let it dry, and then I'm actually going to use some foil glue for this half so that way I can move on quickly. I am going to cover it in the foil glue and then heat it to dry it with my heat gun. And then I'm going to just completely cover this section with this white glitter from Diamonds and Dust. This one is called Bubbles, and it's so pretty. It's a very pure white, but then it has all these little speckles of color shift, and I thought it was so pretty tied in with that yellow-orange ombre. After that, it's still wet. I'm going to take this Pixie Dust, which is a super fine glitter, also from Diamonds and Dust, and it really matched this Bubbles, but in a much finer cut. So I'm just going to give it a coat really quickly over that white glitter. I'm not going super crazy or trying to be precise. I'm just covering the white glitter, shaking it off, and then moving on. The next step I'm going to move into immediately. I got these alcohol inks in a cup swap. They are Marabou alcohol inks. They are kind of not what I was expecting. They're super bright and vibrant, but they kind of had a little bit of a smell that kind of turned me off. Not turned me off, but I wasn't expecting it when I opened them. So that was kind of different. But I am going to, just like everybody does the cow print with the brown alcohol ink on white glitter, I'm just doing the same concept with these neon colors, and I'm telling you, they are so bright. I was highly excited when they actually turned out this bright, because I've gotten some inks or paints before where it's supposed to be super bright and then you're just disappointed. So I was highly satisfied with these inks. I am putting this darker color on and I was not loving it, so I kind of just did these little spots for balance, because once it was on there, it was on there. I could not take it away, but then I did not add any more. So these spots are a little bit smaller, and I did go over them a little bit more with some of the other colors to just kind of get it to blend. I mean, it is going to be covered up and it does kind of match the vinyl that we're using later on, but still, I just wish I would not have used that color, but hindsight's 50-50. You know, sometimes you don't know until you do it, and then there's no way to take it away. So I'm just going to go around all on this white section and just add big spots of each color. I'm really trying, it doesn't spread too much, thankfully, so when I'm going up against that edge, I'm trying to make sure it doesn't really go over into that orange and yellow, but if a little bit does, it's okay because it blends in anyways, but I'm trying not to get a ton over there. And you can see here, once I laid down the color, the second time I went over that spot, it doesn't really lay down into the glitter since there's already that color there. So I kind of just patted it off. But I am going to cover this whole section of white in all of these different colors, kind of making it like a watercolory look, just blending some of the colors together. I liked how the yellow and the pink made a little bit different of an orange color, and yeah, so I'm just gonna let you finish watching me add all these colors. After I'm all done adding the ink colors, I'm going to take it outside and give it 2 coats of Rust-Oleum's Clear Glossy Spray Paint, and then I'm going to let that dry, and then I'm going to immediately go into giving it 2 coats of epoxy. I am using Counterculture DIY's medium viscosity, and then after that is dry, I'm going to tape off the glitter ombre side, the yellow and the orange, and then I'm going to take it outside, and on that colored inked side we are going to do a power wash, just a simple small light coverage. So I spray it with the power wash soap, and then I'm going to go in with not a heavy coverage of white for my spray paint, and then rinse it off, and then immediately go in and give it another coat of the power wash soap. You can see it was really windy that day. Add a little bit of orange spray paint, and then right on top of that I am adding the white spray paint. Again, not super heavy coverage, and then I'm going to rinse that off, and then that is what we are left with. I really liked it. I wanted to cover a lot of it up because I really wanted the glitter ombre side to be the star of the show, but I wanted it to also kind of coordinate and go with this side as well. We are using this neon floral from 311 Co. for the glitter. This is what inspired the entire thing because I loved these neon colors. So I measured the side that has the glitter ombre, and I cut out a sunray looking shape, and I'm just kind of, it was hard because it is a tapered tumbler, so I just am really kind of willy-nilly guessing it. We're not really being super precise here, but I knew about how big I needed it because I measured, but I didn't really know exactly if it was going to line up. If you know what I mean, you know. So I just created this shape and then I cut it out and then I'm going to just trim it off. So I applied my transfer tape and then I'm just going to basically apply it like the hinge method and apply all those sun rays. And I wanted the sun part to be yellow and then have the rays in between the bigger rays in between the smaller vinyl rays. I really still wanted the glitter ombre to be the star of the show, so I just wanted these to look like a little burst of colorful sun rays. After I had all of that patterned vinyl applied, I'm going to move right into the striping. So I'm going to stripe out this round yellow sun, and then I'm going to also stripe out all of the sun rays, and I am going in with this this glitter vinyl from Hobby Lobby. Y'all know I love me some Hobby Lobby vinyl, and they have these new single sheets of glitter vinyl, and it's like not rough to the surface, it's so smooth, cuts so well in my silhouette as well. So I am going to lay down some yellow vinyl stripes first, and I am going to then cover it with a thinner stripe down the middle with some holographic color shifty vinyl, also from Hobby Lobby. It is like this pinky orange color shift. It's so pretty, but it matches the colors in this pattern vinyl so well. So I'm just going to lay down all of these stripes, trim them off, and then immediately add that center stripe. And you can see here I put the circle for the sun first, and then I'm going to trim off in the center of the sun because I'm also going to lay down a center sun line with that color shifty vinyl as well. I'm going to do the same thing down the center stripe to stripe off the two split sides, the yellow and then the pink orange holographic. And then we are going to move into this side with the power wash. I'm going to add a decal, and I kind of went back and forth on what I wanted it to say, but I really wanted it to be something that was kind of inspirational in a way. So I came up with, if you can't find the sunshine, be the sunshine. I really loved that one. So I'm doing the opposite on this side. I'm laying down the pink orange color shift metallic-y looking vinyl first as the offset, and then the top layer is going to be that same glitter yellow. It is a little bit harder to see, and I had first put it on the other way, the same as the stripes with the yellow on the bottom and the pink orange on top, and I felt like it got lost in there too. So I would almost maybe do, next time if I were to do this over, I would do like a 3-layer and do a really bold dark very bottom offset, and then let these be on top, maybe just so it stood out a little bit more. I'm not sure. I do like the way it all blends together, but it is sometimes a little bit hard to see. So I don't know. I mean, you can do whatever you want. Maybe add a white background for the SVG. I'm not sure, but I created this SVG myself in my Silhouette Studio software. I just put some fonts together, sized it, moved the words around until it was the way I liked it. And then I gave it 2 final coats of epoxy, and this beauty was all done. It is so summery and bright and colorful, which is exactly what I was looking for. I did sprinkle a little bit of waterfalls on this side when I was completing those last 2 coats of epoxy, and that's it. I love that the colors on the background on the power wash side still blend in the same colors, but it's not overpowering on this beautiful sun side. As usual, I will leave all the information where to find me on the products that I use down in the description box, and I will be back on Wednesday with another tutorial. Bye y'all. Have a good weekend.